Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to the review of Jurassic World Evolution. My name is not Dennis Nedry, my name is Rudi, and I welcome you to this little review. And I thought, okay, to not make it a boring review with just sitting there and talking over the gameplay, I've chosen this little office place here, which you potentially do know as a Jurassic Park fan, to present this to you and to talk a little bit about the game Jurassic World Evolution, which will be launched tomorrow. I had the big pleasure, and also I was so glad to have the game early on. Frontier Development gave me the game. I thought I should mention that at the beginning. I'm very thankful, but trust me, this review won't be biased at all. Potentially only biased by the fact that I love Jurassic Park as a genre and as a film and all this stuff, but I try to be as honest about the game as possible. I've around about 30 to 35 hours in the game. I'm not done with the overall campaign yet, but I basically have played everything you can play. I talked to the lady designer who played the whole game already. She crazy, anyways, and so I do know about quite everything which is in the game. But now let's not talk too much about general stuff. I have also put a timestamp schedule down below in the description, so if you want to jump between different areas you can do so. But for now we are going to start with a general explanation what the game is about. So for those of you who don't know the game yet, but potentially if you click the link you will at least have an idea what this kind of game is. It's made by Frontier Development. They do have kind of a heritage in the way of or in the genre of making park builders, and Jurassic World Evolution is no exclusion. It's a pretty yeah, it's a standard park builder. You basically build your whole park from scratch. In the campaign mode, you are put into some situations where a park is already built, or you have to build a park with certain restrictions. It's basically, as always, you need to make money by making your guests and your animals, in this kind of sense, or not attractions, but animals, happy, and the more happy they are, the more happy the guests are, the more willing they are to pay money, and so in the end you can build the Jurassic Park or world, to stick with the name, of your dream. So it's nothing new, and if you've played Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, you will potentially know the game perfectly well, because that is basically how the game is played. So if you have played Zoo Tycoon, you know how the game will be. So it, you know, is that a bad thing? No, not at all. I mean, what are we talking about? It is a simple but a very good park builder game, and I think Universal didn't really want anything else. So basically that's the game, a park builder game. You build something from scratch, but we are going more into detail later on, because in comparison to other park builders, for example Zoo Tycoon, also Planet Coaster, this game is a lot more management related, which is a good thing, because that's what this game is about, and you won't have that many customization options than in other games, but we are going to talk about that later. Before we start with the management as the big thing to talk about in this review, I want quickly to talk about the graphics and performance, because we can quickly check that. The graphics are stunning, the performance is brilliant. That seems easy to say, but trust me, by playing Planet Coaster, you potentially know that performance-wise, a game built on the Cobra engine, which is the own engine of Frontier, doesn't really mean that it has to be performant at the end of the day. Especially with a lot of guests in the parks in Planet Coaster, you have a really staggering, a really lagging game, I would say. And in the good news, that's not the same for Jurassic World Evolution. You can have 15,000 guests and, I don't know, 150 dinosaurs in your park. The game still runs perfectly fine. Just if you guys want to have a relation, go down below into the description. There are my specs for my computer. I will put them now onto one of those two computers, to my left and to the right, to make sure that you guys can have a comparison. But I have heard already that it will be also running quite nicely on other systems. Obviously I've played this on all Ultra, so everything fine, everything perfect, and the game is also optimized for consoles, for the current gen consoles. So you can get the game as well on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So I guess basically that's also why the game is perfectly optimized. Does it look bad then? No, not at all. The game looks absolutely beautiful. You can see some areas where they have, you know, went for a compromise, but that's not too bad. The game still looks very, 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 very awesome. For a park management game, amazing. I mean, even games like Ark will be very jealous of the dinosaurs, so trust me, looking amazing. But now let's go to the core. The core of this game, and this is, as you can see in the monitor over here, the core is management. And many people have been afraid of that fact because Frontier, you know, I want to go too much, or don't want to put too much salt into this little scar, because the thing is, Planet Coaster wasn't that perfect for management as this, and also Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 was maybe not too in-depth with management, so I can somehow understand where this kind of fear came from. But trust me, Jurassic World Evolution is a good management game. Is it perfect? No, it's not. But it's very good. It is a lot of fun, it's challenging, it has a lot of motivation to play the next level. So I'm in the 4th or 5th, no, it's not true. I'm in the 5th of 6 levels. I'm still very motivated to play the game. All of them felt different, and I've even played the first level a few times, I guess 4 times even. And every time it was a new experience because of one special thing in the game, and this is balancing. The balancing thing is not too complicated, but it's extremely well executed. I had the feeling it kind of goes down to the thing what Ian Malcolm always says, and this is the butterfly effect. If you do one thing, another thing will happen, and that's exactly how the game works. If you put an improvement to your energy station, the possibility that you have some energy problems will raise with the same amount of possibility, so to say. So you have to be careful enough to put also an upgrade on, which is making it more seldom that outrages will be happening. So in this kind of way, it's pretty much leveled, and this is nice because you can't just go full throttle into optimization, because that will basically it will definitely destroy something in the end. So it will get your tail and then destroy stuff. So don't get me wrong, it's not too much in depth, so there has been a lot of potential that could be uncovered in future updates, if there are some updates to come, I don't know. But in general it is very good. But now let's talk about what are there in for management aspects. So we have the 3 divisions. We have entertainment, security, and science. You can fulfill contracts for each of these divisions, and by doing a contract for a division, you will get fame, so to say, in that division. So you know, they like you more than they would have done before, which is good because then you get more updates from them, you get unlocks which you then can research in the research center, which is nice. But each of the divisions have different targets, and you kind of also have to balance them because if you go too much into one direction, the other ones will get mad and they will do sabotage and stuff. So you want to make sure that you don't only go into one direction. But if you go into one direction, the game does also reward you for this. So it's a mix mash. You do have to see how you go, and that's, again, as I said, you can play like try to level them all. Then you will potentially be a little bit slower, but it will be a lot more reliable in the end, or sustainable. Or you can just go full throttle into one direction, which makes you a little bit quicker in the game, but it will definitely lead you into problems later on. The next aspect is satisfaction of guests. This is very basic. It's in the game, I would say, but nothing more. You know, yeah, I know they want to have food, they want to have fun, they need to see the dinosaurs. But as soon as you have money, it's pretty easy to fulfill. The only limitation is space, basically. If you don't plan this early on, you will have problems to put down some restaurants and stuff, then they get mad, and you have also to put down security shelters. If you don't have enough security shelters, it's more likely that dinosaurs will kill your guests. I don't know, maybe you like it, but the game doesn't like it, so you have to pay lawsuits in the end. The more guests being killed will get you into trouble and in the end lead you into failure. That does happen, trust me, but it's basic. It's not in depth. As soon as you have money, you will be having no problems to care about your guests. Now, talking of the dinosaurs, and I've even seen different portals and forums talk about those as Sims. That's not totally true. I mean, they could have been more challenging, but they are definitely challenging enough for the majority of people. You have to fulfill several needs for the dinosaurs, such as food, such as water, such as enough space to roam around. Some of them are social, so they need you know, dinosaurs of the same species in. Some need just a few, some need a lot of, some need different species in one enclosure, some want to be alone. Then you have to make sure that the carnivores definitely need to be hunting. If they don't have enough to hunt, they will get mad and so on. So it's not that easy, and especially at the beginning it seems to be easy. As long as you have a relatively low number of dinosaurs, it seems to be too easy. But trust me, as time progresses and as you have a lot more dinosaurs and a lot more enclosures, you will get into trouble, and it does really make the life not as easy as you would wish to. So there is a lot of things that you have to deal with in the later stages, and if you haven't planned that at the beginning well, you will definitely have problems to progress in the game. And I think this is a good decision. The dinosaurs don't seem to be too complicated to be maintained, but in the end it will be getting a lot complicated and more complicated, especially with the hybrids and with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You will have some problems, trust me. So it's good. It could be better. Yes, it could be better. Let's say 90% for the dinosaurs. Guess maybe 50, 70, something between 50 and 70% I would rate it, because there has been a little bit of potential being left out, I guess. So it could be better. And the third aspect about is the building mode, so to say. You have different buildings you can place down, such as the research center, fossil center, you have the ACU center, you have the ranger center. So all these kind of different centers you need to have dig teams that you can send around the world to dig for fossils. Those have to be extracted in the fossil center. Then you have the research center for example, to research medications, because you will definitely have some more problems with the dinosaurs if you don't have anything to cure your dinosaurs. So they will have definitely some diseases, and if you haven't researched the special or the specific medication for it, you will have a problem because your dinosaurs will die out. And also you need to have a good placement of your rangers, because you need to send them out to restock the food and resupply the food stocks and stuff. And if a dinosaur breaks out, you have to send them out to kind of tranquilize them, what you will do with the ACU helicopter. And you can even pilot them yourself. That's very cool. Also you can drive the vehicle yourself. So a lot of things that's good about the management aspects, or the management aspect of the game. On the negative side though, I would say money is potentially a bit overpowered. At the beginning it feels very slow to gather money, but there is kind of this kind of specific point of no return. Once you have overcome this point, money flow is very easy. And then you get a lot of money, and with a lot of money you can nearly do everything. I don't say everything, it's not as easy as in other games, so there are some limitations in the game, which is good, but money does really help a lot. But I'm not too negative about this, because actually money really very often helps to do everything. So that's basically a good thing. But it could be better. The balancing about the money could be better. I don't know how exactly you would do this, maybe make interest rates a little bit higher, or actually make interest rates a thing, because there is nothing about interest in the game. And yeah, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. But the overall thing, it's a good management game. So there's also a little bit of micromanagement in the game, and you know, you have to extract the fossils, you have to send out your dig team to the different dig sites worldwide, which is cool detail, because they are really based on real world dig sites, which is a cool thing. You can also watch different real life maps, and you will definitely see the same. But yeah, just as a kind of conclusion now for the management aspect, it is the best management game Frontier Development has made yet, and also with the limitations of Jurassic World Evolution, I would call it a really good management game. I won't say too much about the final verdict now, because that we will have in the end, but it is a good management game. For those of you who wonder, and my personal opinion, it's a good management game, even though I think that money is a bit overpowered, but yeah. So now let's go into the pros and cons of the game in general. I'm just going to go through them now really quickly, because the rest of it and judging about this will be done in the final verdict then. But first of all, let's start with the first pro, and this is the presentation of the game. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World as a franchise is giving me goosebumps. You know, going into the cinema and just listening to the main theme of Jurassic Park from John Williams is just wow. I mean, you know, this really is just like whoop. And the thing is, the same as with the game. You open the game and you immediately you're in Jurassic World. It really gives you the feeling. You have the music the whole time. You have the soundtrack. You have the original dinosaur sounds and stuff. It's brilliant. And talking of sounds, the sound design in the game is potentially one of the best sound designs I've ever seen in a computer game. How the dinosaurs sound, how everything connects to each other. So for example, if the Tyrannosaurus Rex is running towards the camera, you can really, you know, the camera is slightly shaking, which is so cool. And the closer it comes, the camera shakes even more, and the bass is going to be even harder. So that's a cool little detail, and you know, you will find all these kind of small details in the whole game, and this is just, it adds so much to the game. So you know, it does really play a big role in the game, and makes yourself, you know, I lost time in the campaign mode because I was looking too much to the dinosaurs and just enjoying the game, right? You know, flying around with the camera, brilliant, just brilliant. Yeah, but dinosaurs, I have to say, the dinosaurs itself are a big pro. The animation, the design, the overall look and feel of them, the sounds, they are just, you know, it's simple as this. They're the best dinosaurs in a computer game yet. So that's, I mean, you don't need to say more. They are great. Are they perfect? No. There are a few things, for example, like some animations are copied from others. I guess this is also down to the fact that they really were in a hurry towards the end of the schedule, so to say, because they really, you know, they couldn't decide for a release them they on their own. They have to stick to the cinemas and to the movie release. And that's basically why they needed to stick to the time frame, and I guess this is also why they made the decision to copy some of the animations. I personally don't think it's too bad. I can totally deal with that, because the overall dinosaur do differ enough from each other to give it an own feeling and an own character. So for example, if you have the Dilophosaurus and the Velociraptor, they basically have the same killing animation, but yet the Dilophosaurus has the animation of you just he just really shoots toxic stuff at his enemies, whereas the Velociraptor definitely doesn't do it. But then again, the animation when it jumps onto its enemy and kills it are basically copied. It's not too bad. It's totally fine. So I don't care too much about this. So it's actually, you know, it's absolutely fine. But now, let's go to the cons. Don't get me wrong, this list will be longer than the pros, but this hasn't anything to do with my overall opinion of the game, but I will talk about that in the verdict. So, one thing I really want to talk about is the fact that this game lacks a bit of customizations. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to have a piece-by-piece building game or whatsoever, but at least I would have loved to put bins and benches and lampposts to the path, or at least I want to decide that the path has lampposts, bins and benches. I mean, there's so much in the game. There's even a night mode, you have lanterns and stuff, but you can't really decide anything. I believe people coming to the island in Jurassic World Evolution, they don't have any trash with them. It's a trash-free island, because there is no litter or something else. Nobody has something in their hands to throw it down, because there is none. I mean, yes, obviously, then you don't need trash bins, but that really annoyed me a bit. You can't really, you know, you have these pathways. By the way, the path system is kind of nice. It's not too in detail, it's just very simple and basic, but I like it, just to mention that, because I forgot to mention this as a pro, because Planet Coaster had a few problems with the path system, and the decision which Frontier Development made to go for a more simple passing system in Jurassic World Evolution really paid off. I actually, at the beginning, I wasn't really happy with it, but playing around with the path system, it really was cool. The lack of having stairs and bridges is a bit boring and annoying, but the overall system works pretty well, so I'm happy with this. But, you know, just to have the plain path and nothing to it, not even, I don't know, a planter as a customization or a statue, this was really a bummer for me. You know, I didn't want to have, you know, it would have been enough to have 2 variants of a planter and just to decide to put bins and benches to the pathway, even if the guests don't use them just for aesthetic reasons, and then to give me some, you know, I mean, why do I have no skeleton statue at all? I've seen plenty of them in the movie, I'm quite sure. I've seen plenty of them in the Jurassic World, but none of them are there. So yes, I would have just loved to have a few more customization options, but apart from that, very nicely done. And yeah, I mean, it's not a sandbox game, even though there is a sandbox mode in, but it's not a sandbox game, I get that, and I'm fully happy with it. So yeah, and another con, which I definitely have to talk about, is the lack of water living and animals that are living in the air. We don't have the mosasaurs, we don't have any of these flying dinosaurs in the game. We don't even have a bird's cage, and we don't even have an aquarium or whatsoever. I know from an interview of the Gaming Beaver, he had an interview with the developers, and I know that there is something to come in the future, potentially, and they decided to go for a finished and finalized version of it rather than putting it in a game. But looking at it as a full game for a full price, I don't really know why there is nothing like that in. It is a central aspect of the Jurassic World created in the first Jurassic World movie. You have this big lake in the middle where the Mosasaurus is living in, and potentially also some other species. It would have been just such an amazing addition to have that in the game, and I really don't like that it isn't. That's a that's a really bit of a bummer, I have to say. But yeah, anyways, I think that's basically what the major parts about the game. I want to talk about the pros and cons, but now let's talk about the verdict, and I will keep that short. Jurassic World Evolution is a great game for park builder enthusiasts, for management players, maybe not for the craziest of enthusiasts that like to play RimWorld, for example, or something. It's not that in-depth, but it's a good game, don't get me wrong. And if you are a lover of the genre itself, and Jurassic fan and Dinosaurs fan, buy the game, it's worth the price. Is it a perfect game? No, not at all. There is so much more that could be in. As I said, the lack of dinosaurs living in the water and the air is really something I need to talk about. I know why they are not in, I explained that, but this is a bit weak. The number of dinosaurs, though, is totally fine. So in general, the game is a lot of fun to play. It looks amazing, it has an amazing soundtrack, it has an amazing sound design, it has a good management aspect. So yeah, it's a great game. It's not a perfect game, but it's a very good game. So, would I recommend buying the game? Yes, totally I would. It's a great game. It's definitely worth the price, considering that you have all the licensed stuff in it. It is a great game to play. Would I say, I don't know, you need to get it before all the other games? Potentially not. I mean, it's a really great game, and if you're somehow connected to the genre of park builders, management games, or whatever, it's totally your game. So now guys, that's the end of the video, and I really have to excuse just now going into the outro. The green screen action was totally weak. I don't know why. I tried to record that a million times, so to say, and my camera was always falling down from the holding system. Because my phone was too hot, actually. It's so freaking hot today. I hope that you can't see how much I'm sweating. No, I guess it's fine. But I don't know, it's feeling like 50 degrees in here, also with all the lights lighting, yeah, anyways. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think of the game as soon as you have your hands on the game, and what you think of it. I would love to hear your opinions. But as I said, for me, it's a great game. I've explained why, and I've explained why I don't think that's a perfect game. So there is a lot of room for improvement in the future, but for now, I think it's a great game. For the moment, releasing it's a full game, it's a perfect game, and comparing this to the majority of titles out there, and even how much early access stuff there is, or how much, I don't know, unfinished games from even big publishers are there out, in the environment of games, so to say, I would consider this one of the best games, which is also IP licensed. So yes, it is a really, really good game, worth the price, and I can only recommend it. But as I said, it's not perfect. There is room for improvement, enough room for improvement, and yeah, I just wish you all a great day. If you like that video, give it a thumbs up. And what did I even do with my mouth? Anyways, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do so for more Planet Coaster and Jurassic World Evolution and City Skylines and whatsoever action. And yeah, if you have anything else to say, drop it down below in the comments. Now, Rudi out, and I will leave the very untidy office of Dennis Nedry now and go back into my home. See you guys, and bye-bye.